Titles. Go.
The big man's chair.
Jack's Candy Crush.
Getting my stroke back.
Dice Goblin.
It's the claw.
Easy to come from behind.
Boozy Doo.
I am the Farkle King.
Don't forget to be cleaning your die.
Rainbow Road, PTSD.
Ah,
Nice.
very nice.
Outstanding. Let's do this.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
I'm Corbs.
I'm DC.
I'm Jack.
Guys, what's got you geeked?
A chair. I'm geeked about a chair.
A chair or
Okay.
the chair phone?
Chair? What the fuck's a chair phone?
I love
Good
that.
one.
Wait a
I like
minute.
it.
Chair, like
I got you. I got that one.
Oh, is that from one of those movies that isn't
Nope.
horror or sci-fi? Oh, okay.
No, it's from a commercial that runs through wrestling every week.
Oh. So anyway, back in November, when we knew Damara was going in for surgery, we realized that she needed a recliner for recovery. Because that's the only way she couldn't stay in bed all day. So we took the home card and went down to a Dunkin' Bright like we do, and she found a recliner, but we decided we were going to replace all of our living room furniture. And I ordered the same recliner. Now here's the thing, she was like, well, this one's only this. I'm like, you need this for recovery. We have the money. Get what's nice. So she got the most expensive recliner. Well, maybe it wasn't the most expensive, but it was pretty expensive. It was like the big man's chair. It's like double wide, power buttons to do everything, USB charger. And of course, because she did that, I could get the same one. And she couldn't say anything to me. So,
Nice.
but the thing was, they only had one of those that would be delivered before her surgery. So we had to wait until delivery this month. We got stuff delivered last Friday. So we got our new couch, which is it's a smaller couch because the chairs are bigger. And I got my chair. And I'll tell you, I did not sit in her chair. Even when she was in the hospital, I refused to sit in that chair because I was getting my own. And I wanted the first time I sat in it in my house to be in mine. And let me tell you, I was worried because, I'm so used to the way I sit on the couch, but this thing is so nice. I kick it back, the back goes back a little, thing goes out, cat jumps up and like lays between my legs and just sit there and watch TV. And it's fucking awesome.
It's
I'm
one of
The
almost,
best.
those chairs where the house could be on fire. I'd be like, somebody smell smoke?
yeah,
I'm not getting out of this thing.
I could
Somebody give me
sleep
a
in that
sandwich.
thing. I
Yeah.
could sleep in that thing. But
Oh, yeah.
it's one of those things. It's kind of like a rite of passage. At some point, a man gets his piece of furniture. And I
Yes.
almost had that. And then here's the interesting story. Years ago, before Lana was born, her mother and I went to Raymore and Flanagan, and we were getting furniture for our apartment. And I had picked out this big leather power recliner with a refrigerator inside the arm to keep
Oh, my
beer.
Lord.
And I was like so excited. We put the down payment on it, and it was going to take like a month or two for them to get it to us. And then she found out she was pregnant with Lana. And we decided that spending $3,000 on furniture was not a good idea at that point, and we canceled it. So I've always wanted to get a nice big chair, and I finally have it. So I am happy.
Nice.
That has me geeked.
Outstanding.
Nice.
No, that's pretty exciting, Hugh, because like literally in my basement, I have an accent chair, but I always wanted a big chair like that with the power locks. Does it have cup holders too?
Yep, on both sides.
Beautiful thing. All right. So it has me geeked. I'm very excited about this one. I'm a huge fan of documentaries. I think I've told you guys about that in the past. So a passion project. It's finally moving forward. John Candy, one of my favorite actors of all time, Colin Hanks is directing it with his good friend Ryan Reynolds. So Ryan Reynolds says it's one of his idols. So like literally the book that he's reading in Plane, Trains, Automobiles, John Candy, Ryan Reynolds is reading in Deadpool too. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of like a little symbolism right there, which is nice. So quick little recap. I know some of our listeners, not all our listeners, know who John Candy was. Canadian actor, died at 43 years old, many movies, SCTV, funny guy, very selfless man, which was really cool. So one of my favorite movies, I'll leave you on this one, was Uncle Buck with John Candy. Quick little synopsis. He takes care of his nieces and nephew. So talk about a very selfless actor. He actually, during a scene, which we all know probably, he does a rapid fire scene with Macaulay Culkin. He's like, where do you live? An apartment, blah, blah, blah. He actually posted Post-its on his forehead because Macaulay Culkin could not read as fast. So he just took care of him throughout the whole production agency, which is really cool. John Candy is, like I said, was a very cool actor. He did a lot of cool things. He owned a football team. He did a lot of cool movies. He did a lot of interviews. He did so much for the community. He actually only made $400 on Home Alone, believe it or not. So he did not make a lot in that movie because he had a very small cameo, but he should have claimed the royalties, but never did. But like I said, this documentary is moving forward. Ryan Reynolds says bring the tears because he's interviewing Chris and Jennifer Candy, his children. So it's going to get really in depth. We might see some things about John Candy we've never even seen before, which I'm very excited. I'm already getting the tears, man. I'm feeling it.
Wow. It sounds like you might have a little candy crush.
I might.
But no.
Listen.
Oh no.
For a second,
yes.
For a second it was good,
Yes.
but then it was like, nope, that's real bad. No, that's bad.
Well, I don't know. One of my first movies was Uncle Buck too. Like not gonna lie, I've always wanted that big pancake for my birthday. I've always wanted that. So.
Oh hell yeah, dude! You had to see the toast. I couldn't even get it through the door. I love that movie. I really do. He plays a great part in that movie.
And did you know that? Go ahead. What?
Does this documentary have a title yet, or?
No, it's untitled. It's going to be on Prime. Colin Hanks is working through it. He really wants to get into directing, which I think he'll do a good job with that. But which is really cool though. Like I don't know, it's going to be very interesting how they do it. So I'm very excited for that.
Jack, what was his last movie?
It was released or filmed? Let me ask you that question.
We'll go both because they're two different ones.
Yep, released in 1995 was Canadian Bacon, and Wagons East was his last film he filmed in Durango, Mexico, and he died eating a bowl of spaghetti in his hotel room at 43 years old, and his father died of a heart attack as well. So it's pretty impressive. Like this was one of the first movies I saw was Uncle Buck, and actually that movie's written for Danny DeVito, believe it or not, which would have been really painful to watch, but so what has me geeked is a documentary coming about one of my favorite actors.
Nice.
I'd like to know when that comes out, Jack. I'd like to watch that too.
Absolutely.
I always loved John Candy. He was Uncle Buck. He was fantastic in that. I mean,
Yeah.
great outdoors.
I know. My favorite, I have to go Only the Lonely. A little bit more serious, but I like that one.
Yeah.
One of my favorite characters he played Ox in Stripes with Bill Murray.
Ox.
I
Yes.
love that. Yeah. Yeah, see, we were going to the bingo parlor down at the YMCA. Yeah, I love that movie.
All right.
All right,
Which one of the
DC or
Corbettses
Corbs?
is?
Yeah.
I'll go. For me, it's bowling. We had bowling again tonight. Finally started to get my bowling stroke back.
Stroke.
So
Write that
when I
down.
finished bowling when I was younger, my average was probably around about a 160, 170, somewhere in that area. Sometimes towards the end I might even got it close to like 180, 185, somewhere in that area. So but tonight I bowled a 554 series, so it's the highest series I've had, well, in this league. But the cool thing, the thing that's kind of really got me geeked is the Disenchanted Voice. He bowls in the league with me, and he had a 298. So he came two pins. He came 2 pins from his first 300 series. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so he was upset when I mentioned it to him, but It's actually pretty cool because that's would be the three best games he's put together ever. So and he started out great, but he got tired towards the end. His last game was a little weak. So I mean, he started out with like I think I want to say 104, something like that, and he had like a 114, and then he bowled like I think it was a 70 something or whatever. I don't know whatever the difference ended up being or something. So, but it was fun. We have a good time with it. We're at the halfway point, so it's only an 8 week league, which is nice. You're not tied up for, I remember when I bowled, we stopped playing softball. We had a week and then we bowled until softball started.
Long
So
season.
yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it's like a 4 month thing, but they take like a month off at Thanksgiving and Christmas. They take those 2 months off. Maybe a bowl a little bit before Thanksgiving. So we used to have like 6 weeks off in it. So that's where the difference plays out. So, but it's always fun and it's a good time. So we go and have fun and some laughs and
Perfect.
whatnot. So
I
that's
always
what
feel if you bowl a 300, that little siren goes off, but I don't know if it does or
the
not.
start does not go off. Everybody comes over and grabs your ass though.
Oh,
Nice.
not your Aunt Gertrude, I hope.
No, no, I've never seen a 300 bowl. I've seen it close. I've seen people come close. I've come close. Closest I've come is I had 7 straight to start uh, a game. I had 7 straight to start. That's the closest I've come. Now I've done more strikes in a game. Danny will tell you we went to Rock and Bowl one night and I opened in the first frame, punched out to the 10th frame, and then opened in the 10th frame.
Yeah.
So I've had more strikes in a game, but never to start a game. That's obviously how you get to 300 each.
Yeah, I remember that. I think I remember that too. But your 10 frame was a real thing. I don't know that you could see very
No,
well.
I really couldn't. I think we were pretty
Yeah,
much
we were
shit
bombed.
faced at that point.
Yeah, we were bombed.
It was so bad, and Danny, I don't know if he remembers this. It was so bad. We went to McDonald's the next day for lunch, and I was laying on the counter, like not laying on the counter, but like had my head on the counter, and I was talking to the girl who was taking our order, and we were talking about bowling, and I was like, "Oh, I bowled a 212," and she's like, "Oh, really? I could beat you." I'm like, "Really?"
And then you
I'm
felt
so fucking shit faced here.
Yeah.
You guys didn't mean to bowl again?
Oh,
So,
yeah. Yeah, I was really surprised because we usually, after, having one of those nights of debauchery where you're just so drunk or whatever like this, we always ended up at Denny's.
we did always end up at
But
that.
that night, I don't think we went. I think we had to go home. I don't think I mean, we got home. I didn't drive. He didn't drive. We had a DD that night, but like walked through the door and I was like, and I just went down into the basement into my room and he went into his room. And like the next day, it was like 1:30 in the afternoon. We kind of rolled up. I rolled up out of the basement. He rolled up out of his room and mom's looking at us going, what the? And we're like, don't even talk. Just the sound of your breathing hurts our head.
You know,
Yeah, it was bad. But it was fun. Used to love going to Rock and Bowl. You'd bowl, drink, and check out all the chicks. What more could go wrong?
the fighting.
Yeah.
There's that. Yes.
Yeah, there was always a fight.
So that's it. I'm done. I'm out.
Cool. DC.
So what's got me geeked? I don't know if we're doing video game or anything like that tonight, but
We are.
so this is going to be maybe a lead-in or a two-parter for whatever like this, but I saw previews for a new game Sean told me about, Corpse told me about, and I am waiting with bated breath for it to come out. It is Assassin's Creed Shadows, where you get to either play you get to actually play both characters. You get to play a shinobi assassin and a samurai. I saw the previews for it. I pulled it up on my Xbox when he told me about it on Monday, and I think I watched the trailer like 4 times. So that's got me really geeked. I can't wait. I needed, a new game. The other thing that's got me geeked is I've been playing Skyrim nonstop, and I actually did a couple of missions. I've had this game 4 times. I've completed it 4 times, and I did missions this week that I've never done before. So like freaking out, going, I don't remember this. I'm looking it up. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. And I was like, I got done, like my heart was pounding. This is a game that's been out for like almost a decade, and I was freaking out while I was playing it. So that had me really geeked, and I get to play missions that I've never done before in a game that's my favorite game of all time. So that's it for me.
All right, cool. So what's got me geeked is something I stumbled across tonight at the store when I was there to pick up milk. But have you guys heard about um hard Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
Seen it at Walmart.
Yeah, my friend drinks
I
it. He
never
loves
never
it.
heard of it.
He loves it.
It tastes like Mountain Dew because I already sampled one before we started. Boozy, obviously. It's comparable to like a Budweiser, but zero sugar.
Oh man.
Nice, man.
So
Okay.
He's like,
that's
"Pick
what's
that."
got me geeked. I was excited to try this. They come in a variety pack. It's got like regular Mountain Dew, it's got Live Wire, it's got Baja Blast, and then a watermelon. The only one I've tried so far is like standard Mountain Dew. So,
Okay.
um,
And the best part about it is you'll drink it and your heart will explode later.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's a foregone conclusion at some point.
Right.
It's just
right on GeekPod, it'll explode.
there we go. That'll be our highest downloaded episode ever.
Right.
So would you
Yeah.
rather go drinking a hard Mountain Dew or a bowl of spaghetti?
Probably both together. That's that's gonna be the chain reaction.
Oh, that was
Okay.
good tie in there, Hugh. I like that.
All right, but since it seems to be a pretty video game heavy night, let's get right into it. Guys, what are you playing?
So I've been gaming a lot this week, and one of the things is I picked up a game for $15. It's on sale in the Nintendo store. I don't know if it is across all the others, but it's an Ubisoft game. So DC, you might be interested in this. It's called Immortals: Phoenix Rising.
Yes, I've
And
seen it.
yeah, here's the thing. It looks kind of cartoony. It has a lot of the voice actors from Assassin's Creed Odyssey in it, doing different characters. This is really almost the kid cartoonified version of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. All the same mechanics are there, the climbing and everything, and the stealth kills and all that. It really feels like an extension of that franchise, and I love that game. And to go to what DC was saying earlier, I'm actually not going to pick up Assassin's Creed Shadows on launch day because I didn't like the last installment Mirage, and they're making a lot of changes this time. I'm gonna wait and see what people say because Assassins, the I call it the Holy Trilogy. Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla were pretty much my holy grail for the longest time. My
Mhm.
favorite of those being Odyssey and Origins. Um, this game sucked me right in just like that. Now it's got some humor because it's all framed around Zeus and Prometheus talking to each other, and Prometheus is telling Zeus a story, and Zeus really doesn't want to fucking listen to it because he doesn't like Prometheus, but he's telling the story of the game you're playing. So they're kind of narrating it as you're going through, and the banter's funny and all that. But the core gameplay is straight up Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I mean,
Nice.
they pretty much get it, and they came out around the same time, I think, or within a short time frame. So
Yeah, I remember
they
that.
rip themselves off, but in a really good way. So if it's on sale, I mean, maybe you want to check it out. The
Yeah.
other thing I want to bring up game wise is because I'm on a freaking tear when it comes to this shit. I bought an OLED Switch, a real one that I can hook up to the TV, but I bought a Japanese version, so it was about $100 less.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And that doesn't really matter unless you try to warranty it because you can't warranty Japanese hardware with US Nintendo. Um, but I got it because as I'm playing on my Switch Lite, and I realize a few of the games I have are multiplayer, and it's all about, family playing games together. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to go all in. So I did it. I went all in, got multiple controllers and all that. Everything finally came today. The Switch came today. So I got it hooked up. And after dinner, the three of us sat down and we played Mario Kart 8
Nice.
Deluxe,
cool.
and it was so much fun. And I mean, you guys know Mario Kart is a blast. Skill isn't really a big deal because if you're at the head, if you're in first place or second place, you don't get the super powerful power ups that people that further down do. So in the last one cup we played, Avery actually won the whole thing, and she had been complaining the first two because she was fourth and fifth and sixth place. But it's easy enough for somebody to come from behind. So it's good for all ages, all skill levels. But the big thing is my wife has been seeing all these packages show up from Amazon for the past week, all the games, everything, because everything came in a separate package. And she didn't say anything, but I kind of felt like there was a look there if I stared too long, like, what are you doing? The look on her face after we got done playing, the big smile, I'm like, she understands what I was trying to build here.
Awesome.
And now we're going to start having, family game nights, or maybe, game and then watch TV, kind of split it up. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for us.
Very cool. Now, did you do the year membership for $20?
That came. Well, I got a free membership with my
Nice.
Switch Lite, so that
because
carries over.
now it gives you access to the old Nintendo and Super Nintendo games.
Yep.
And that's so worth it just to be able to play like legit Super Mario Brothers again. That's I think I spent more time playing that than I did anything else.
Well, I mean, I've got like 7 devices to my right that all have that shit loaded
All
on
your
them
emulators
anyway.
and shit,
Yeah.
that's right.
But this was really, what I can't do with those is sit out in the living room and play games with my family.
Right.
I remember my buddy when we jailbroke our GameCubes last year, we did Double Dash, and literally it was 150cc. Holy shit. I don't know if it was when I was a kid, it was a lot easier. It's impossible. Like, it's literally, we almost threw the controller a couple times. It really gets difficult, even in reverse mode. You're like, God damn it, like you're about to win. Then that fucking blue shell comes and gets you. It's like, I'm fucked.
Because Mario Kart was the big game that I wanted to play with the family, something that I discovered this week, there is a Mario Kart game for your mobile phones.
Is there?
Yes. Yeah, Paul, you missed it. I discovered this week there's a Mario Kart game for your mobile phones.
Oh, nice.
And it's really good. Like, you all probably should download it right now. It's free, doesn't cost anything. The graphics they look as good as they do on the Switch, which just kind of blows my mind. And when they made the reloaded version for the Switch, because Mario Kart 8 was originally a Wii U game, when they brought it up to the Switch, they actually took some of the courses from the mobile game and moved them into the real release. So I
Oh, no
mean,
kidding.
they're
that's
really
cool.
good. You can play with one hand, so you put your thumb down on the screen and you're accelerating and you move back and forth. If you get a power up, you flick up to throw it forward, you flick down to send it backwards, and tap if it's something that you just use. It's ingenious. It really feels like an extension of the game. It doesn't feel like a dumbed down mobile version. I'm just
Nice.
really impressed that they came up with a control scheme that works that well. But for fuck's sake, guys, it's free. Download it right now.
I
No.
still have post-traumatic stress disorder over Rainbow Road, so I can't do that. I got nothing for gaming this week, so I'm out.
Out.
I'll go.
You go.
Ghost of Shinobi. Or whatever. Tshishima. Tshishima. Tshishima.
Ghost of sushi, whatever.
You're gonna have a
Sushi.
big ass beard, Corbs. Next week, you're like still gaming the same game.
Well, now this is when you were missing from the show, Jack. We went almost a year with the 3 of us all talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla,
Oh,
Yep.
really?
week in and fucking week out.
Yeah, it was during COVID. Like we found something that I think Hugh started playing. He's like, "Yeah, I gotta try this game." And then
He was
Paul-
ahead of us. Yup.
Yeah,
That's awesome. We should find a game, and then we should all game it and see where we're at, like next week or something like that. That would be fun.
so
Like how you
I
ever
actually,
get near my PlayStation.
I
True.
absolutely love Ghost of Tsushima. It's cool being a samurai. So, but it's kind of a mix between that, like feudal Japan and Assassin's Creed, where you can assassinate people, which is not the samurai way. Samurai way is to fight head on, or not be a little bitch.
That's a good way to put it for
I
history
mean,
standpoint.
who's the little bitch, the dead person or the alive person?
True.
But the samurai show
think it's-
respect, though, Corbs, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad. I love doing that shit. I love like sneaking up on people and slitting their throats and stuff like that. It's pretty fun.
When are you gonna start doing that in
Tried it in
D&D,
real life,
goddammit?
but it didn't work. It didn't help me much in real life.
Not exactly quiet, are you?
No.
Not stealthy, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I've been. But Danny's right. I took Bryce to get a gift card at GameStop. And when I walked in, where I was looking at the PlayStation 5 games because I can now,
Right.
and I saw that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, uh-huh, not yeah, yeah, no, that's yep." So when I got home, I can pre-order it online, so I'm gonna do that.
Yep, you
Nice.
can
Well, you
pre-order it.
need to because I think Ubisoft's going to go out of business if they don't get enough people to buy this game. This really seems like their Hail Mary here because they've had a really bad year.
Yeah.
So
Corbs, next time we see you, you'll be like dressed like a samurai. You're gonna be even acting the part.
Do it. Next con we go to, come dressed as a samurai, like with the straw hat and everything. Freaking
And
Ouch.
we'll just yell and
Jubei.
we'll just follow you around, you pointing, yelling, cultural appropriation and shit like that.
That's why it got delayed. It was actually supposed to come out, it was supposed to come out in November. But because of certain aspects of being a samurai, not the shinobi side, being a samurai, some of the things that the samurai can do in the game, they were like, no. This is Japanese culture said, no, you need to redo it. This isn't right. So that's what they delayed for, to make sure that you could, it wasn't completely like, okay, you can be a shinobi assassin or you can be a samurai, but the samurai shouldn't be able to do everything the assassin can do because they have no rules. So it was kind of, that's why they did it, because they were getting a lot of like blowback from Japanese culture.
wow.
People, yeah, Japanese, because they want it to be somewhat right. That's why when you see a lot of those types of movies too, you have to make sure you get them right. Like when you have like 47 Ronin, which Keanu Reeves plays a samurai in the movie, but he's white. You can tell he's not Japanese. So they had to like, that was supposed to come out before it actually did, but because of that, they wanted to make sure that everything was done the right way because he's a white person, even though, but he's not Japanese. So you have to make sure all that stuff was right. So
Dugena.
that's why Assassin's Creed Shadows was supposed to come out 3 months ago. So, but it's not out yet. So I think it's March. I think it comes out March or May.
No, it's March right now, unless they move it again.
Yeah, unless they move it back again.
Gotcha.
I had to look at the date. I think you said it's
So-
March now. I'm like, huh?
yeah, so if it's March 5th, I won't be at D&D.
Bullshit.
I think it's the 15th.
I won't be at D&D then.
DC, do you have any more gaming stuff or
Uh,
did you
no,
hit it
not
early?
really. I mean, I don't know if last week when we did our podcast, I talked about playing Kelly's son, and
Yes.
I did.
Yeah.
No, he conveniently this week forgot his controller.
Oh, imagine that.
So, and he said, "I'm sorry, I forgot. I've been practicing all day." And I'm like, "No, next week, next week."
Wow.
So, other than that, no, I said all my gaming piece for what's got me geeked.
All right, so I've got two to bring up. They're both one's in the pre-order stage, the other one's in an announcement stage. As if you guys didn't know I was going to talk about it, WWE 2K25. It is available for pre-order right now. Three
Okay, so
different editions.
That's the pre-order one that you're talking about.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
We got we got three editions. Standard edition has Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman on the cover for $60. They have a Dead Man special edition with Undertaker on the cover for $100, and the Bloodline super secret double exclusive deluxe edition for $130, which has all the things, including something that they're calling the Ringside Pass. But I guess that's more than a season pass.
Well, I know that if you buy that one, at least the highest one, maybe the highest two, you get like a whole week before it's released to play.
Deadman and Bloodline both. There's a ton of stuff you get for the different editions. Do you guys want me to go into it?
Go
'Cause
for
I
it.
actually did
Yeah, sure.
It's
have
your
the
segment.
page up. Hold on
well,
one
when
second.
you start, and then if it gets too much, we'll tell you.
Good, perfect.
Tell us which one though you bought though at first.
I haven't gotten any yet.
Okay, which one are you
Yet.
leaning towards?
Hugh,
Or
tell
you-
him.
Yeah. What's
Oh,
that?
he's going for the full Monty here, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Always.
He's
Always.
lying. He's buying all three of them.
Oh
Right?
my God, the guy that doesn't.
All
Okay, go
right,
ahead.
Jesus Christ, can we get to this? Standard edition. It comes with the base game, the Wyatt six pack.
The white
Um,
six pack.
Why?
Wyatt
Oh, I think you said
six,
the white six pack.
which comes with all the characters and then some cosmetic masks for the island mode, which is going to be something new, I guess. And then it comes with a digital download of WWE 2K4 Standard Edition for $70. Sorry, not 60. The Deadman Edition comes with base game, 7 days early access, so this will come out on March 7th. Standard Edition comes out on the 14th. The Deadman Edition has a bonus pack with. Sorry, I gotta get down to where it was. Um, uh, a usable urn, as well as a couple of different looks for Undertaker. I think Undertaker 90, and then there was one other that I missed.
I mean,
Um,
American Badass.
maybe I don't remember what they called it.
Street Taker.
Maybe.
Hopefully not.
Hell's Angels
And
Taker.
my favorite part of that edition that it comes with, and also with the big one because you get everything, is it comes with Brother Love as a manager.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
It comes with the season pass, 15,000 of their virtual credit thing, and then all the other things for like $100. Bloodline edition comes with all the stuff plus extra bonus pack for the Bloodline, which is my faction cards for some of the other guys. I think a couple of the Mattel versions of characters, that ringside pass, which whatever that is. There's also a Rock Nation of Domination pack, which I find interesting.
That's awesome.
So yeah, there's and eventually it's gonna come out late. They said it's gonna be the WrestleMania 41 pack, kind of like they did with this year's, where later on you get like the arena and everything for this year's WrestleMania.
Okay.
All sorts of Persona cards and stuff that which they're not announcing yet. And I guess there's gonna be 5 DLC packs again for this one. All the different mega boosts and all that. Oh, I'm sorry. The other Undertaker from the Deadman edition is one of the Mattel Elite Greatest Hits Undertaker. I don't know which figure that is.
98? No.
It doesn't say, but the other one is Undertaker 90.
Okay.
The Wyatt six pack includes all the characters: Uncle Howdy, Dexter Loomis, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Eric Ronan, and the 2 masks, like I said. But we're taking it out of the ring this year too. Did you see that, Hugh? There's the
The
island.
island, yeah.
Yes. And some expanded gameplay. It says intergender wrestling, plus the underground, and some new match modes, including bloodline rules, which is basically just a like,
No DQ.
yeah,
Yeah.
like isn't
Yeah.
that already a thing?
They just try to sell it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, reframe it for something that's current in wrestling. I get it. But the Bloodline edition is $120. $130. I'm sorry, $129.99 plus tax. So need to add some funds to my my wallet there.
I'd like to
Uh,
see all the graphics of like all three of these when they're sold and see which one was bought the most and go from there. Because they did this
Right.
probably last year too, right?
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
always got what, 3 editions now? It's
Yeah.
been doing that for a few years. And they got me with the last one because it was the 40 years of WrestleMania edition, and I was like, take my money. Just and but you know what? I do play it all year long. I got to give it that. I'm still playing 24. I mean, granted, like I said last week, I just hop in, I change titles, I advance my universe mode or whatever it is. I'm not doing matches like you said, Hugh. I'm not going through all that stuff, but I do little shit. But I do come back to it at least once a week. So
Hey, do we know who the mode is going to focus on, or are
not
they not
yet.
doing that?
I have a feeling that it's either going to be Bloodline based or Undertaker if he's getting a cover. So, I mean, normally it's whoever's on the main cover, right?
Yeah, usually.
So probably Roman Reigns, Bloodline, something to that effect. But I don't know for sure. But that's all I got with that one. If you guys are cool with where we left that one, I'll move on to my last one and then we'll throw it to break.
Okay.
Light No Fire. Have you guys heard about this?
No,
Do you guys know what No Man's Sky is?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
no.
No Man's Sky is basically a space
Oh,
exploration game. You get a ship and you can go along and visit all these different planets, build stuff. I mean, there's a loose storyline to it, I guess. There's stuff that progresses through. But that same developer is making a new game and it's fantasy based and it's Light No Fire. So it's kind of almost D&D-esque. There are dragons and all that sorts of stuff, different races, but it all takes place on one planet.
Oh, I have heard about this.
Yes, but the map is 100% legitimately Earth-sized, and it is completely sandbox. You can go wherever, you can cross oceans if you can find a way to do it. You can get a dragon, apparently. At some point, you can tame a dragon, and now you can fly around on a dragon. There's battling and whatnot. It looks really
That's
cool.
it. You sold me.
Right? Done. And I believe it's going to be cross-platform play. So
Oh, no
that's
shit.
like you were saying, Jack, that might be something if we can talk everybody into dropping the cash on that. That is literally a game we could all get in and play together, no matter what systems we have. I mean, I know, Hugh, we tried that before. We played what, one evening?
Yeah.
So
That would be kind of
Um,
fun, though. Yeah, I'm kind of interested
it
too.
looks really cool. And I mean, I don't know why I'm so excited about it because there's been MMOs for years that do the same fucking thing. But it looks really slick. And maybe I'll throw the trailer for it up on Facebook for us so everyone else can
What's
see
it
it.
called?
Light No Fire.
Light No Fire. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look it up and see if it's on my Xbox. When we get done, I'll look it up.
It's not anywhere yet. It's not available for pre-order or anything like that. It's literally in the announcement stage.
Okay.
I'm not even sure if it'll come out this year because they take a long time to do this shit.
Yeah.
So. But if you get a chance, get online, check it out, at least watch the announcement trailer. Pretty cool shit. And that's
Actually, yeah.
all
Okay.
I had. Yeah.
Actually, I'm not playing this, but you made me think of something. So I saw a trailer for a game that I might be getting. Have you guys heard about the game Headliners? So, I told you about that content warning game I've been playing a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is Headliners, and it's got a Cloverfield-esque type feel to the game. So yeah, you're going around taking pictures of scary shit again, but like, it is so Cloverfield-like, and it looks pretty intense. And I don't know too much about it because it was only like a 30-second teaser, but it should be coming out in March sometime. But it looks pretty interesting. It's like Left 4 Dead, I would say, a little bit with some
Okay.
Cloverfield type vibes with that, which they show in the trailer like a guy taking a picture of something and the body gets ripped apart. It's like holy shit.
Outstanding.
But so I think it's less than $15 on Steam it'll be, but I might be getting that one. So
Very
yeah.
cool. All right. Well, if there's nothing else for gaming, I think we'll throw it to break and we'll come back with the news. Stick with us, guys.
Talking to the stranger with the skeleton flute was his first mistake. Playing it was his second. Be careful what you wish for never meant anything to 12-year-old Sam until the night he blows into the skeleton flute and wishes for his parents to stay together. The stranger promised Sam his greatest desire, but the morning after the low, warbling note came out of the glowing flute, Sam's life has been turned upside down. His brother and sister don't exist, and his best friend doesn't know him. His parents are together and happy, but is it worth sacrificing everyone else he loves? Caught in a web of unintended consequences, Sam must try to get his old life back, despite the challenges that wait for him if he succeeds. And that means uncovering the mystery behind the strange man's identity and the skeleton flute. The Skeleton Flute hits shelves on August 27th. You can pre-order your copy now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your local indie, and most major book retailers.
Now, before you get all excited because your wife points out that in a few months, both of your children from a previous marriage will be 21 or over, and you realize that child support will end and you almost have your older children paid off, here's the news. First up, only one murder at a time allowed in the building, apparently. Singer and actress Selena Gomez has come under fire for a tearful video posted to social media where she showed empathy for all of the people being deported under the new immigration executive orders given by our new old president. The reactions ranged from the expected all the way to she should be deported. Man, I mean, just because you care about bad shit happening to some people, you should be deported. Her family's from Mexico, so I'm sure this affects her in a way that none of the pasty white male members of this podcast can possibly understand. New border czar Tom Hammond, which is funny because it's a funny name because it's almost human, asked her, "Where are the tears for the sex trafficked children?" Now, maybe this is just because I'm old, not a touch, but is there a new law that said we can only feel bad about one thing at a time now? Or that if you verbalize one concern, you're legally obligated to list out every other fucking bad thing going on in the world? That just seems like a stupid thing to say. Like protesting a Holocaust ceremony and saying, what about all the people who died in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Like one bad thing existing negates the impact of another. It's the kind of an argument a child makes. Of course, empathy is a human trait, and apparently not a Hammond one. Next up, somebody bail me. It's been a rough week for actors in controversy. Captain America pisses off Americans, Spider-Man goes MAGA, and Smallville actor Tom Welling was arrested for DUI in an Arby's parking lot on Sunday night. I know that sounds like a setup to a joke, but it's not. TMZ reports the actor was at a .08 or higher. I'm really curious to see if we find out what that reading was. While I'm all about Arby's, getting all the meats at just after midnight is a questionable choice. Have any of you had Arby's recently? You can't eat a beef and cheddar without making a mess. I've been sober for 4 years and I couldn't eat one at my dining room table without getting covered in cheese and red ranch. Attempting that drunk in a vehicle? Not a chance. That's total red kryptonite behavior. And finally, stop making fun of me. I'm not making fun of you. I'm getting the manager. Get the fucking manager. I don't care. I suppose I'm a few decades late for a Dennis Leary no cure for cancer joke. Although with all the medical research and funding stopped, that's exactly where we're headed. Today was the Senate confirmation hearing for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for the head of Health and Human Services. Along with being the original voice actor for all of the fast food drive-thrus in Hollywood for the past few decades, he's also known for wanting to end vaccines and removing fluoride from drinking water. Basically, he comes from the science is witchcraft and we should all be drinking our own urine and rubbing raw onions on gunshot wounds school of thought. And while I don't think him being patient zero and the brainworm zombie apocalypse will happen before he does some serious damage, I am struck by something odd. All of the other cabinet appointments, while woefully unqualified, have something in common. They will either do everything the president says or will make more money for the rich. But RFK Jr., he's the outlier. Medicine is big business. I'm sure the vaccine and dentistry industry make millions or billions off this product. I can't see any reason for this. Unless new president who smells like the old president is just doing it for the lulz. After a long day of golfing and ordering people to throw Mexicans off planes, he wants to kick back and see what silly old RFK Jr. has come up with now. Think of it like a sitcom, where RFK is the well-meaning dad with zero common sense, like Homer Simpson or Paul Showens. He bans fluoride from the house and everyone's teeth fall out. Cue the laugh track. He refuses to vaccinate his kids and they all die from polio. The applause sign lights up, and at the end of every episode, his wife says, "Oh, Robert, you're so silly," as she burns the bodies of her children because they're too contagious to hold a funeral. That has to be it. Nothing else makes sense. Or is it nothing makes sense? But you know what else doesn't make sense? In a bonus news story that just popped up this evening, wrestler Buff Bagwell is going to jail for 3 days for an old arrest. Details aside, the important thing is where it happened. I couldn't make this up if I tried, guys. Apparently, he took a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia. He didn't read the signs or respect the law and order. Now he'll do hard time. I'm not even kidding. One would think he would have known better. And that's the news, kids. Now it's time to see if our fearless leader has the new format down. Will he throw it to Jack for trivia or Corbs for sports? Will he thank me for including this to remind him? Does he even know where he is right now? Paul?
Dad jokes. I gave all my used batteries away today. Free of charge. Back to you, Jack.
Oh my god.
Did you ever lick a battery?
But which battery?
Exactly. No, Hugh, back to
Fair
your
enough.
segment for 2 seconds though. Like
Oh,
all I can
Jesus
think of for
Christ.
the RFK Jr. thing, the Charles in Charge theme song. Robert in charge of our lives and our days. That's all I think of. All right. I like it. All right, ready? Here we go. Who am I going to look at first? Corbs.
Which one?
Oh, yeah. Well, you're the one I call Corbs, so you already
Yeah,
know.
gotcha.
All right. Because he's DC, so Corbs.
Yeah.
All right. Michael Jackson teamed up with what notable guitar player in the 1982 song Beat It?
Oh, God, I can see the video. Can see him standing there. Is it Stevie Ray Vaughan?
Close, but no. You want to take another guess? You're really close. You're in the right decade.
Steve Vai. I can't
No.
remember. No, I can't remember it. No, I can see it, but I can't remember. I thought it was Stevie Ray Vaughan, but it's not.
Okay.
I'm not.
And anybody want to take a guess? Go ahead, Paul.
Flash?
No,
Not Slash.
I
No.
know he was with him on something.
he was.
There's
All right.
later on. We're talking 80s. This is
This
All right, then
is
probably
Randy
Eddie Van
Rhodes
Halen.
and Randy Rhodes and shit like that.
Eddie Van Halen is the
Oh, it was
answer.
Eddie.
It
It
was.
was.
I knew that right off the bat.
DC,
Oh,
you're quiet. I said anybody
Oh.
else.
Wow, I
I
thought I
wanted to
didn't.
see if anybody else would, say it.
Okay. We're going to do another music one for you, DC.
All right.
Elton John wrote his famous song called Candle in the Wind for Marilyn Monroe. He re-recorded it in the 1990s
I know.
for who?
I know who it is.
I like how I pick you guys and I don't, and it's like, you know these like when you're not on the spot. I love
I know,
it.
right?
It's perfect timing.
1990s. 1990 or 1990s, like the decade.
If I give you the year, it'll give it away. But do you
It
want
will.
the year? 1997.
I don't think that's going to give it away.
No,
No.
because I'm
I-
stupid.
Because you either know or you don't.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Au-
No,
August
I
of
can't.
1997. Yes.
Let's say I think I know who it's for.
I
no,
definitely
you
know.
know, you definitely know, Corbs.
I
Okay.
don't know. I'm drawing a
Just take a guess. Who do you
Right.
think, though? Who do you think? Just take a guess.
1997.
Come on, princess, you can figure this out.
No. I can't. I can't come up with anything.
You're gonna die when you realize who it was.
Go ahead, Corbs.
Princess Diana.
Fuck off, Paul. I knew I'm dead eye and Paul. I'm like, fuck off. Because
No,
yes,
even with the hint,
Yeah.
I still
Two
wouldn't have gotten it.
hits.
Yes,
No, three
he-
hits.
Yeah.
he called it England's Rose, basically. So yes, Paul.
What?
In what year? I want the year, exact year. Did World War One begin?
Oh. I know that one too.
The year.
I know that one too.
What year is it?
1904?
Oh, wait. Ooh. Yes, maybe. No.
No.
Oh,
I wanted to say 1918, but that was the Titanic.
Titanic was 1912, but no.
Fuck. That was also.
You're not even close
there-
to it.
You're
You're like,
I
what do you
probably
got,
knew that
Corbs?
3 concussions ago.
I want to say it was 1917.
No.
Okay.
That's when America joined World War One.
Okay,
but no.
then it's the other one I was thinking.
I want to say 1914.
Correct. Good
There
job.
you
Oh,
go.
okay.
With the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand.
Yes, that I knew.
Yes.
That's not
Very
what
good.
year it was, apparently.
All
right.
By ear.
Hugh, what president was the only licensed bartender?
I don't fucking know, and no, I don't have a guess.
Jesus.
Barack
Who?
Obama.
No.
I mean, it would have to be somebody that was president during a time that we bothered licensing that shit. So I would have to think that it would have to be, in the 1900s. I can't imagine that prior to that, well, maybe they were, but I don't know. I have no idea.
Rutherford B. Hayes.
With that cool beard? No.
You're lucky I knew the name.
Yeah.
What about Taft?
He was too fat to be a bartender, and he
Why?
got stuck in the tub. No, it wasn't. Believe it
FDR.
or no, believe it or not, it was Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Because
wow.
he owned a store in Springfield, Illinois, and they sold like camping gear, like some type of bedding, but they also had a bar inside. He's like, I'll train to become a bartender.
I
So
did
that's
not think they would have bothered licensing them that far back.
yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
All right, since it's January 29th, the day of the podcast, exactly. Thank you, Hugh. What happened on January 29th in history? In 1861, the U.S. state Kansas was admitted to the Union, the 34th state. In 1936, Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, and Honus Wagner were the first inductees into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And in 1959, Walt Disney's Sleeping Beauty was released into theaters. And then, last but not least, on January 29th, let's do some birthdays. The famous mustache, not that mustache, people, Tom Selleck is 81 years old.
He's 81?
Yeah, man.
Holy
He looks it.
shit.
Have you seen
I
him
didn't
lately?
think that.
No, I haven't seen him lately. Okay, that's
Yeah.
different, but I can't believe he's 81. That's first of all.
Musician Adam Lambert is 44. And then former talk show host, I didn't want to give her a bigger title. Oprah Winfrey is 72 years old.
What's your problem with Oprah?
I don't like Oprah.
Wow.
Racist.
I mean, give her a bigger title. Like, what kind of title?
They literally had like former talk show host, philanthropist, and I was like, okay, I'll go with this title. This is fine. Former talk show host.
I mean, you didn't even need to say that because you could just say Oprah Winfrey.
Right.
Yeah, I know I could,
I
but
mean, everybody knows who she is.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm a nitpicker. I like to put what they're known
I mean,
for a
shit, you
little
can
bit.
drive down, in Washington and drive down the street past the Treasury and watch her count all her money.
She's worth over
Actually,
$3 billion too.
Dude, you don't even have to use her last name. You just say
don't.
Oprah.
Oprah.
Everybody
You're right.
knows.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Oprah.
Yeah.
And if it's your birthday from all of us at Geek Pod, especially me, happy birthday, you sick son of a bitch. Back to you, Paul.
Why back to me?
What?
I don't know.
Huh? Hello.
Oh, I have a concussion.
there.
DC, over to you.
Over to
Hello
me. I feel so special now. I
I'm
mean,
Richie Cunningham.
special ed or
My
whatever,
wife.
I guess. I'm not sure. Anyway. So it's back to me. Welcome to another segment of D&DC, where we discuss Dungeons and Dragons.
Everything D&D.
That's right. Tips for players, dungeon masters, and just all around table, if you're into tabletop gaming, Dungeons and Dragons only so far. Right now we're going to talk about one of my favorite things is one of the other essentials to play Dungeons and Dragons is you have to have dice. And if you're like me, I am a dice whore. I love dice. I was checking out dice before we got on the podcast and found 3 more sets to order.
How many
I
sets
haven't
can you
ordered
have?
any yet,
How many
I haven't
sets
ordered.
can you have?
but
All of them.
set.
Thank you, Paul. I said, how many sets can you have?
That's right. All
My
of them.
precious. It's your precious, we know.
That's right. So, which dice do you need? Well, they're called polyhedral dice, and most people are going to be like, what the hell are polyhedral dice? So you call them role-playing dice, tabletop gaming dice, or Dungeons and Dragons dice. There are 7 dice in a set. There is a 20-sided, which you'll use for most. Hopefully you can see this when I hold it up in front of the camera.
Nope.
You can't see it?
There you go.
There it is, right in front of your forehead.
This dice is used in just about every single thing that you do in Dungeons and Dragons. You roll initiative, which means which party or player gets to go first, and in a combat situation, any checks that have to be done, anything that you want to do, you can ask your dungeon master, can I do this? And they can say they can certainly try. You use that dice, 20-sided dice. Now, because I love dice so much, there are different types and different colors, actually shapes even for a 20-sided dice. They have some that you can blow up, helium-wise, you can blow
Okay.
up,
I was gonna say, you
air.
mean, like,
Well, they sooner or later they're going to come up with those too. There's metal dice, there's wooden dice, there are plastic dice, which is basically the most common die for Dungeons and Dragons, polyhedral dice, whatever, are plastic. If you're using metal dice, my suggestion is to make sure there is a pad on any table or surface that you're using because it will leave dents and scratch marks because they're heavier and have sharper edges.
And make sure your other players have protective gear on.
Yes, exactly.
They look cool, but they're deadly.
They are.
I use metal dice.
So
Aren't you special?
I figure as he
It's
discusses
special.
these, we can all say what we're using, asshole.
the next die that you use,
Dick.
the next die is the 12-sided dice.
Jack, pay
This is-
attention.
This is
I'm gonna go get a
basically
snack.
the next few dice that we're going to talk about are mainly used for rolling up hit points for certain character classes and certain weapons. I'm not going to get into all of that because if you haven't been paying attention, and again, by downloads and attendance to the podcast, you're not. That's the dice that you use for some things like that. The next die is your 10-sided die. There are two 10-sided die. Well, shaped die. One is a standard, it goes from 0 to 9. The other one is a percentile dice, which goes from 00 to 90. You roll both of them together. Whichever one comes up on the 00 to 90, and then the one, and let's say it's a 70, then you roll the other die on the 10-sided die, and if it comes up with a 7, you have a 77. That's 77%. So, and also with 10-sided die, again, you'll be rolling for hit points for certain player characters and certain damage with certain weapons, usually heavier weapons. Same with the 12-sided die. The next die, pay attention, Jack,
What?
is your 8-sided die.
Oh,
Okay.
pretty.
Your 8-sided die. Again,
Of course, the way you were holding it almost made it look like a 4.
I know.
Okay.
I did that on purpose. So again, player characters, hit points, certain damage with your certain weapons. The next one is your standard 6-sided die. Now, most of these die don't obviously look like this with the numbers already on them. Most of these come in a game of Yahtzee, Monopoly, whatever the case
Farkle.
may be.
Farkle.
I'm
I'm the Farkle king.
But try not to farkle all over yourselves while I'm going.
I do that a lot too, though.
These are standard. Again, certain hit points for certain weapons, and unfortunately, for wizards and sorcerers. That I will tell you for the player characters. And last but not least is the one that is probably the deadliest of die. Is your 4-sided dice. Now, everybody will tell you that stepping on a Lego is the worst thing in the world. Fuck you, it's one of these. Okay? 4-sided die are the worst. They're small. Obviously, it only goes 1 through 4, and these are just for tiny little things to maybe add certain abilities, certain inspiration die for certain classes. And again, they're a bitch if you step on them. And I can attest to that. I only have 1 foot.
Yeah. I was gonna put that out there that was the unfortunate accident on how he lost the other foot.
Exactly. I stepped on a bunch of 4-sided die. Now, with these die, they're all essential to playing the game of Dungeons and Dragons. You can look them up. You can also use a dice rolling app, but I'm sorry, those are for bitches.
Oh,
And
damn.
yeah, you want to have die. You want to actually have them hold them physically in the palm of your hand and roll them on the table. Exactly, Paul. Thank you very much for the motion.
You're
Wow,
welcome.
you're used to that motion, aren't you?
Yes. Been married a long time. Yes.
You remember that.
It sounds like Corbs is rolling the 12-sided die with all of his humor tonight.
Yeah. Yep.
He's
Well,
rolling
you know
for
what?
initiative.
It helps. Right. Roll initiatives, but you need your 20 for that.
Oh, true,
No.
true.
Maybe
Again,
John needs the 8-sided. I don't know.
That
I'm
tracks for Jack,
the
though.
4-sided die for all we know. But go ahead, DC.
Yeah. So for all of those of you who want to play or are thinking of playing Dungeons and Dragons and you've been following the segments of with D&DC, make sure you get yourself a cool ass set of die. You can also get them at the Dollar Tree, even though they're not $1 anymore. They're like $1.25, but you can find a
Plus
set
tax.
there as well if you don't want to spend a lot of money. Let's just put it this way. One time I went and I just picked up random die from a gaming store near me. And it cost me $15. And my wife looked at me and said, "You spent $15 on dice?" And I was like, "I could have spent $100. So feel lucky."
But if you want to get really cool dice, go to our good friends at It's Getting Dicey.
It's Getting Dicey. That was
Oh,
my
yeah,
next
that's where I
thing.
get my dice. That's where I got my dice from.
I think
my
most
right.
of us got our dice
I,
there.
yeah, I got mine. I got my son's. I bought one of his son, one of the rolling trays from them at the Comic-Con last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't wait until March to see them again.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it'd be nice to see him again too. Nice to see what kind of dice they got.
And
Yep.
Jedi, yeah.
And Jedi.
Now, I think it's probably important, DC, to point out to somebody who's brand new to this, that seems like a lot to keep track of if when you're just coming into the game. In general, based on your character, your class, and all that stuff, you're probably only using a few of those most of the time.
Yes.
And you usually know what it's for. And if you need to use a weird dice, your dungeon master will generally tell you on what you need to roll. So you don't need to be concerned when looking at all 70 of these dice, some of which look really similar. Oh God, how do I even keep track of that? You're not, we have yet to, I think, actually roll all 7 dice in a single game.
Correct.
Yes, that is correct. We haven't rolled certain die in our sessions. You don't necessarily need all of those die, but they do come in a set. Most places, when you order them, they come in a set.
Right.
You can go look at loose die, like I said, in the gaming store near me. They do have boxes of loose die. You try to get, mix and match or whatever like that, find the coolest colors or anything like that. But as Paul mentioned, our good friends, It's Getting Dicey. You can go to the website and look. They have really cool die. Dice can get expensive, don't get me wrong, because I've looked, and a couple of the sets that I want, they're really expensive. So it's up to you. It's up to what you want to use. It's up to just your preference. Metal, wood, plastic, ones that glow in the dark, ones that say "fuck you" on them, which they do have because I'm getting one.
And they also say "fuck me" when you get a 1.
That's right. The same die says "fuck me." If you roll a 20, it says "fuck you." If you roll a 1, it says "fuck me." And we can get into that at a different time. So thank you for me, from DC.
Hold on, before you want to wrap that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You keep referencing the local game store. Do you want to give them a shout out? And if it's
We
not
can.
one,
I mean,
if
it's
it's not one we like,
know,
I'll just cut it anyway.
read the story, play the game.
Okay, yep, we like those guys.
Yeah, so that's where I go to get my dice, to get my Dungeon Dragons stuff as well. But ordering any kind of Dungeon and Dragons books, character sheets, or anything like that, usually you can get them much cheaper on Amazon.
But if you can help it, don't do that. Support your local gaming store.
Exactly. Listen, you're ahead of me in some way, in some certain aspects when you're going to say this shit.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I should shut the fuck up.
No, you're good.
I did that earlier, but
I like the interaction between everybody. So for me, DC, this is D&D or D&DC. Thank you so much for listening and or watching. And if you're not, you should.
It's fucking,
Or fuck off.
So, all right. So let's do this.
It is the claw. It's the claw. It's the mandible claw.
All right. So let's do this. So we all are at the table. Well, we're at the table. We haven't been in a while, but that's here or there. So what?
What do you?
Did you not know that was coming? As soon as you said that, I knew that
was fucking coming. Seriously.
He's like,
I'll take this shit for the next 2 months. That's fine.
I'll take a shit for the next
It's
2
just
months.
true. There's only 1 month left. I'm okay with it.
If you got to take a shit for 2 straight months, you might not be able to come back to the table because you'll probably be dead.
That's true.
Wow, that's impressive. I'm not gonna lie.
All right,
Corbs,
so
go to it.
I'm just gonna ask. So obviously the five of us play in our D&D session.
What show is that?
Well, you can't see me.
Tales from the Keep. So what kind of dice do you guys use? I mean, we all have dice. We all have die. We all have multiple sets of dice. So, I mean, I tried when we were at the Comic-Con last year, at Syracuse Collectors Con. I was there and I tried to think of my character and the kind of dice that he would have.
Something that reflects your character.
Yeah, something that reflects the character. And I think I might have, I think I got it, but I'm not 100% sure. I like the dice that I have. So I play essentially a wooden die that was made. My character is a monk. He's a dragonborn monk. So I thought he would have something that, is was handmade type of thing, or is kind of something that's not real expensive, extravagant. So that's what I went. But then the more I think about it, I think I could have gone either way with it. I think he could have gone with stone dice too,
which would be cool.
which would be cool. So you can find the dice that you're looking for, base it on your character. I don't know if you guys have done that. I don't know who, that's kind of what I thought my character would be a set of wooden dice or a set of stone dice because he's a monk. He doesn't have anything, but he thinks he's better than everybody else.
No one knows that in the campaign yet.
Nobody knows it anyways.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah, because you like to read everybody's characters, you jackass.
You guys made me print them all. Of course I'm reading them.
That's true.
True. Not necessarily on him.
That's true. So, but so I wanted to say, I mean, you guys, we can talk about it if you guys want to talk about the dice that you're using. Is it a certain set of dice that you like? I mean, I joked with DC, we joked with Paul, everybody kind of said it. I said it when he first started talking. Well, how many dice are there? Or how many dice can you have? The running joke between anybody who plays D&D is, well, how many are there?
Right.
But
right. All the dice.
I'm gonna leave it out to everybody. Do you have a certain set of dice that you like to roll? Is there a certain dice that you like?
Yes, I do. I roll a dice that was gifted to me by my I don't know if it was by my wife or my son, but I roll those dice.
Okay.
And they've been very beneficial for me, especially my 20-sided, because it seems to come up with a 20 a lot of the time. And that's something, especially during combat, that you really want.
Right.
If I were to play it based on my character, it would have to be, doesn't necessarily have to be metal or stone, though being a wood elf. But I would want something a little more like a greeny forest type of die. But you have to be able to read the numbers.
That's the
yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's back in the day, die, and this is when I first started playing 30 some years ago, even longer than that. So almost 40 years. The numbers were concave, and you had to take a crayon and color it in and then wipe off the excess so that the color sat in the concave on the die, usually white.
Yep.
I
remember having to do that.
Yep. That you spent an hour coloring in and wiping off and cleaning your die so that way you could see the numbers. Now they actually have stuff where the numbers on the die are bigger. I was watching a video earlier and I saw that the numbers are bigger. You have some that glow. You have dice that glow in the dark.
Yep.
You have dice that light up.
Yep.
You have dice that I actually saw these and I would love it, but I'd never be able to see it. Is they have a necklace. It's a dragon necklace. It's a dragon head, and you open it and you dump the die out, and they're wooden die, but it's about the size between if you hold your index finger and your thumb together, and the little point right here, that's how big they are.
Yeah.
Every single die. You can't, how the hell am I supposed to see that? I wear fucking glasses and I still can't see my die, and they're normal size. So, but there's all different types. Getting die, if you're into the game as much as I am, and I don't know that there's anybody at our table that's into it as much as me, besides our dungeon master, maybe. Um, Getting die for me is like it's literally Christmas. Anytime I order a die or I go pick up die or whatever like that, it's like a kid in a candy store or a kid at Christmas. Number one, I can't wait to get them. Number two is that when I get them, I can't wait to roll them. When I was in the hospital, for the 6 weeks that I was in the hospital, I didn't have my die with me. I was so bored that even just having my dice there, just to roll them on the table, would have brought hours of enjoyment because you can make up shit in your head and then roll for it. It passes the time away for someone like me. So die are special. I was watching a video earlier and there was a woman on there who has dye. She has her hair dyed bright blue, aqua blue. And she held up a set of dice and they matched her goddamn hair. I thought it was cool as hell. So you could just pick whatever dice you want, whatever dice rolls. They always say to have more than one set because your die, believe it or not, can be finicky. You could roll 4 or 5 ones in a row, then you got to chuck that dice on a 20 sided dice, get rid of that die, and pick another one out and see if your luck changes.
We've seen
Because
it happen.
Yeah, we have.
Yes,
We've
we
seen
have
that
seen
at
it.
our
Someone who's
table.
not here anymore constantly had bad rolls.
yes,
Yeah.
and you want to have an extra set or several sets.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch, put it out there. I mean, we're not sponsored by them, but Critical Role. One of the women on there has a pouch that's probably like this big, nothing but dice. And she dumps them on the table. She picks out like 5 sets that she wants to use and then puts them all back. And if all 5 sets roll bad, she gets rid of those die, puts them off to the side, and dumps the bag again and gets more die. I've seen it happen. So, and then she starts rolling better. So, I don't know. The other thing too is if you go between metal and wood, or I'm sorry, plastic and metal die, plastic die roll a little longer because they're not as heavy as metal die. So when you roll a metal die, it rolls once, maybe twice, and then it stops dead. And that's your number. With a plastic die, you roll it, it might roll 3, 4, 5 times before it actually settles on a number, especially if you're not rolling in the dice tray. So again, it's your preference as to what kind of die you want, but pick one that you like.
Yep. But
Pick
back
one that
to
you like that you're happy with.
Corbs's question. Around the Tales from the Keep table, what is everybody using? Because like we said, most of us, DC, you weren't there, so you didn't get a chance to get some. But the rest of us all purchased dice, and I think it was the same idea. I think everybody kind of picked something that spoke to them.
Yeah.
I didn't. If
Yeah,
you
I didn't.
recall, what I did is I went and bought, because my character's a sorcerer, a very dark person. I got these awesome death metal dice. They're black and shiny and bones and skulls with scarlet red numbers on them. I'm like, these are fucking cool. And then we get to the table and I can't read them because it's dark red on dark black, and the lighting's not, optimal. So when we did that, while I like my dice that I got from It's Getting Dicey, I picked ones that were easy to see. Now I did find a metal silver set with like inlaid blue. It looks like like streaks of gems. But
Mhm.
the big thing was they are like a light gray or silver color matte finish with
So you can
clear
see them.
black numbers.
Yeah.
I don't love them, but they're eminently more usable than the other ones were, even though the other ones are way cooler.
Right. I mean, they're
I
both
should
cool.
just
I remember the set you got now, and yeah, I like them. They're a cool set, but like you said, it's not quite endemic to your character.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Yeah, I okay.
Sure.
No, like I didn't get them from It's Getting Dicey. I got them from Play the Game, Read the Story store. So literally I just went in there one day because I was late to joining this and I was like, I need a set of dice. I don't I now I know from DC's what he's saying there's all different kinds of dice you can get. But like literally I was in the store for like 20 minutes with my dad and literally I rolled maybe 12 sets of dice, but I settled on because I like green because I think green's a cool color and it's got gold inside it too, which is it's nothing like my character that's a barbarian. But I've always been fascinated with like green colored things. I don't know why. Like it's a forest green, like what DC says. But just rolling them, like the girl that was working at the store, and she says it just like what DC said. The dice have to feel you when they call you a little bit too. So there's just when I was rolling these dice, I really enjoyed it. And my dad actually was rolling the dice too. He's like, and we both agreed that this is a good set of dice to purchase. So I think they were about $15, which
Yep.
it was a fair price, but like yet, like you said, they can range from $1.50 all the way up to hundreds of dollars for sure.
Yeah.
But when It's Getting Dicey is coming to Syracuse Collectors Con, I'll definitely take a look and see what they have there for sure. Maybe I'll get something there, but we will see what happens.
They
Very
got
cool.
they got a fantastic selection there. So
Amazing
I mean, Jack,
Really
you
do.
and I
And
walked
I've been on their
over.
website. I
You
I've
know their
been on their
website too,
website
but
to look. You know.
yeah, but I think Jack kind of hit it on the head too. You have to roll the dice
Yes.
and feel the dice in your hand so that you know how they feel. If they don't feel right, you're never going to use them. So what's the
Right.
point of
Which
spending $100 on a set of dice or whatever? You spend $50 or whatever it might be for a set of dice that you never end up using.
Right.
which they allow it's getting dicey. They have dice trays out for you to test out the dice. They'll
Yeah.
like if you see something you like, you ask them about it, they bring them out to you, do your thing, right?
Yeah.
Um,
They just have to it has to feel right.
Yeah.
yes.
You know, it's funny, when you think about it. They're a set of goddamn dice, and you're you're just rolling them. But
But it's
it's
not.
but exactly, it's not. It's a feeling. It, Hugh said it. They call to you. They,
Oh no.
you
I,
know,
I I don't agree with any of that. I think they're just dice. I think there's no bad luck, there's no bad dice. It's all statistics. But my character would think that too. He would think you're all fucking crazy. But just in
they
general,
are.
it's superstition, and there's superstitions around every game and sport
Yeah.
on the
Yep.
planet, and there
Oh yeah,
always
there
has
is.
been. But in my head, they're just dice. Whether it's plastic bounces a few more times than metal does, but it still doesn't change the fact that a random number is going to pop up, and you have no control
Oh,
over it.
absolutely.
And
It isn't. You can't even. And when I was younger, I was with my friends who introduced me to the game, and we thought about trying to see if we could weight them so that a 20 would come up all the time,
cheating
or
fucker.
whatever the case may be. And trying to do that is the most difficult thing that I've tried to do. Well, not ever, but at that time for this game. So it is. It's all random, but if you're, like I said, this is just me, my personal preference. If you're into it like me, it's not just die to me. It's a feeling, calling. They're special. Like I said, I only roll right now. I only play with the ones that like I said, I can't remember if it was my wife or my son got them for me for Christmas one year, the year right before we started. So I got them because I said I was going to do it. You know, I had I had two sets of die when my oldest son and I played before he passed away. Um, so I wanted more. And when I talked to her about it and talked to her about coming to the table when I was approached, she went out and bought some and gave them to me for Christmas. So those are the ones I use. And they're very beneficial, but I want more. I just do.
So in
So
other words, Jedi, get ready. We're all coming again.
that's right. That's right.
So I already said I use metal dice. Um, and it fits for my character. First, I love the weight and feel of them. I thought they were great. But my character is a paladin, knight in shining armor, whole deal, right, guys?
Right.
So I went with what? It's basically like almost like a gunmetal with crimson red, which matches my character. Like that is what he looks like. So it was perfect for me. And mine, it's well, generally rolls pretty damn good, which pisses our DM off.
Yeah.
Because
Yes, it does.
and what was that? One point he finally got mad and slammed his fist down and said, "Jesus, am I ever going to be able to hit you?" So, but
Yeah,
hey, you know what?
it's
He's
just
the one that proved
preference.
my character. So,
That's right. Exactly.
but
Yeah.
so the dice discussion had some legs, huh?
Well, it does. I
Yeah.
think so. I mean,
Yeah.
I could talk Dungeons and Dragons all night, but
Oh, I know. We've done
you
that.
know,
Yeah.
right. Everybody knows that. But dice, especially for me, like I said, I just dumped out the bag, and I think half of it fell out into my regular bag that has all my stuff in it. So I only had the certain ones. I think my special ones are in the bottom of my bag, but you know, they're essential to the game. You have to have those 7 die to play the game. Yes, we haven't rolled some yet in our campaign, but also if you have more, and this is something I didn't touch on because it just popped into my head because I saw it earlier, was when you move up in levels and your characters start dealing out more damage. So let's just say, okay, for instance, the fireball, it's 8d6. So you have to, in order to make gameplay go faster, a little faster, it's not a lot faster, just a little faster. You want to have 8d6 and you roll them all and you add them all together and there's your damage. You don't want to take 1d6 and roll it 8 times.
I do.
Right.
Fuck you guys.
Screw you guys.
I'm going
you want to be able to have enough. Like I said, it doesn't speed gameplay up that much, but it does instead of just like, okay, 6, 4, 2. Okay, I got a 4, I got a 2, I got a 1, I got a 6, I got a 5, and you just got to add them all in your head, and it's that much quicker.
Dude, we're all going to be dead before we're rolling 8 dice for damage.
Oh, we're all going to die next session. I believe that in my heart. So come up with another character.
Speak for yourselves.
No, you're going to
We
die.
paid $70 for those little figurines. We better live a little longer.
Right?
But you never know.
Speaking of which, did you get the new one for me?
You've got it. No, I mean it's Luke has it. Yes.
Luke has it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, because
Yes.
no, I have the ones actually.
You have the
Mine,
broken one. Yes.
yeah, my broken one sits on top of my Xbox,
Perfect.
so it's there with me the whole time.
There's a whole lot of inside baseball tonight, guys.
What?
You're out.
Corbs knows what I'm talking about. Please.
Inside baseball.
Jesus Christ. All right, moving on.
Paul, yeah, I was gonna say, let's move on.
All right.
Actually, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
I
That's
don't
all
believe
we
you.
got. You don't believe me?
It's not even 10 o'clock yet.
Yay!
Exactly.
All right. Well, then fucking drop your goddamn nuggets.
All right.
You have to. I mean, Jesus Christ. Every
Don't drop-
fucking week you drop nuggets. I
Drop
don't
them on
get
the
it.
floor. I don't want to hear them clang.
Hopefully, I don't have metal nuggets. Jesus.
Jesus
Well, you got
Christ.
metal die. Maybe you got metal nuggets. We don't know.
Come on, drop
One
your nuggets.
man's-
and go.
Get to fucking talk. I'm gonna start muting people. One man's frankness is another man's vulgarity. Good night, everybody, and megabyte, you bitches.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.